Welcome to Second Front. That's right, I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this World War II tactical simulator, and we are going to jump in today to an actual version of the game. I got an early version here. We're going to have to bust through some of these scenarios if we want to continue on down the line, of course, but I can't wait to try it out. Now, right now, we've got the Americans, of course, we've got the Russians, we've got the Germans. There are any number of different ones we can select. The really cool thing here, too, there are a number of tutorials. I would definitely recommend taking a look at these, and they go from everything to stand firing, to using machine guns, to using tanks, etc. So definitely something I would take a look at. That being said, we are going to jump into the actual scenarios here, and I wanted to do a maybe American scenario. I wanted to do like landing on Omaha Beach, but unfortunately we don't have that one currently, or we have to unlock it. In fact, I think it's going to be one of these down here. But for now, as the Germans, I want to fight for the factories of Pskov. This is a hell of a battle. I'm not so sure I can even win it, but let's get a good old fight in. As you can see here, on July 7th in 1941, a gap opened between the 8th and 27th Armies, which the 1st Panzer Division exploited, dashing towards Pskov. The Red Army had little to stop the Germans, but attempted to move the 111th and 118th Rifle Divisions in to defend the 1,000-year-old city. Now, this is going to be, of course, a tough fight because we don't really have much in the way of tanks. Yes, we are armored divisions, but we're actually going in with infantry units. So we're on the ground here because obviously these factories would be pretty devastating to any oncoming tanks. And if we get like really close here, one thing I love they've done is now you can get up close and personal with your troops. You can actually see them sort of just standing around. I think it's a great addition, just being able to get, down and close. Now, we do want to take a look at the entire map here. We know for sure there are Soviets there. We're going to have to do something about them, and we're going to have to take this factory building too. And I recommend we just get right on in there. We're moving up with Lieutenant Wolf. He's going to get there into the factory building. We can see they're well situated. And I'd like to move up with a second LT, but I might not be able to. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and push up over here into this elevated area. It's a bit open, but it's only open if the enemy actually gets to this point next turn, which I don't think they will. I think it's going to take them just a little bit longer. Let's take Sergeant Kulga. We don't want to lose Sergeant Kulga, and I'm going to have Sergeant Kulga lead the attack over here. We need an officer pushing the attack over here, and I think the best way to approach is going to be through the forest there. We've got a little bit of cover in the forest, of course, and I think that'll make things just a little bit easier. Now, one dangerous thing is we are running to the position, and that means our men will be standing. So the enemy is definitely going to have a chance here to do some pretty significant damage. Let's just move them right there in the same position. We've just got a few regulars. And let me know in the comments below, what army do you really want to see? Do you want us to do the Americans next? Do you want us to do the Russians next? I really want to get, some feedback on what you're interested in watching. Of course, these are the initial battles of the game. There are going to be vehicle battles later on. I just really wanted to show you guys a standard fight here on the Eastern Front. And this is early Eastern Front, So, of course, this particular battle, the Germans do have an advantage. We've got the advantage here. However, without those tanks, these Russians could make our lives very, very difficult. Of course, if you're a coward, you could always go ahead and just surrender. But don't do that. Let's end the turn and hope for the best. Now, that factory on the right is extremely concerning. But if you guys look up here, look at that. That is what we need to get to. And we need to get to it in, I think, only 4 or 5 turns. It's quite a lot. Or, it's quite a lot to expect. So we do have an advanced phase, and we're going to take this chance to go ahead and push forward with Lieutenant Kulga. Also push forward with these regulars. And also with this unit. Pretty much anybody that can get into a forward position a little bit closer to the enemy, I'm going to take that chance. And I think as long as we stay in the forest here, at least we are in fairly good cover. So, over here in the woods and the tree line, look at that. We can't even see these guys. We can't see them. They're hidden even from us, so I think that's beautiful. Nice representation of forest cover, and let's go for the melee phase. Now, the melee phase is only going to happen if we are on the same tile as the enemy units. Those of you that have played like the actual Second Front board game know what I'm talking about. So we don't have to worry about that right now. It's just the recovery phase. For any units that may have retreated or anything like that, this would be the time for them to, go ahead and get their wits about them, get back in the fighting. Now the move and fire phase, folks. This is my favorite. Unfortunately, it is the Soviet move and fire phase, and they're getting on the east side of that factory. I wonder why that is. They're also moving in some regulars to this side of the factory, and I sure don't like that. We need to try and take these locations really quickly. We can't really, like, take our time here. We can't lollygag. Why do I use words from fucking 1910? I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. But anyway, we really can't lollygag. We can't hang out here and just wait to get into those positions. I know it sucks to have to cross an open field, but that's what we're going to have to do. So over here, I think nope, we're still not in sight of them, and we're still not in sight over here. So as for the firing phase, not much can be done this turn. We'll simply go ahead. I wouldn't necessarily have anything against, in the factory there, actually charging forward with our men. And by the way, yes, you can get... Oh, no, maybe not. We're going to check that in a second. I'm pretty sure you can get into the factory. If not, that would be a great addition here. Oh, there we go. Yes, you can get into the factory. That is so cool, guys. I think that's as far as you can go. I'm trying to get even closer, but that's about it. But look at that. We can actually see the commissar there. And this is 1941, so that would be a commissar. We also see our lieutenant and our troops here. I love it. And it is our move and fire phase. So I'm actually going to try to move this unit into position. But that's quite a lot of movement. I'm not sure they're also going to be able to fire, unfortunately. However, with Lieutenant Kolga... we're going to crawl into this next position. And we are going to open fire. Not so lucky. And again, very, very dangerous, but we got to get right into position there with Sergeant Kuga. I'm going to start pushing over here with this unit of regulars. And, man, I want to move into the silo, but I think we're going to have to move on this side of the silo so we have some cover into the commissariat. Oh, they took a shot there. I heard that crack shot. One of the units is broken. The other one is still doing okay. What I'm going to do is I am just going to remain on this side of the silo. I trust the silo to protect us. I really do. Maybe that's a mistake. All right, here we go. One broken unit. Not good, of course. But we'll take it. All right, they missed our officer, thankfully. The lieutenant is okay so far. They did, of course, try to take a shot there. There is our unit, and our unit that's fleeing or panicking is actually running into this area. And shame on me, I just now noticed we've got a whole bunch of units over here. I didn't realize we had additional forces, although this should help us take that factory building very quickly. I do know that we're expecting reinforcements for this battle, but not sure if these are those reinforcements. So advance and fire, or advance. This is way too dangerous, but it has to be done. We're getting in that building, guys, no matter what. Now, we could go ahead and get right into the position with Lieutenant Kuga. I think it's risky. Very risky. But not making a move is even riskier. This is a total gamble. With Lieutenant Wolf, excuse me. We're getting in there with Wolf. He's going to be there in there with some regulars. Hopefully he can take out these Soviet regulars. Making sure we don't have any other reinforcements. I don't think so. And there we go. I want to just get those guys in the silo. Perfect. Good firing position. And hopefully we can shoot down on the enemy there. Here we go. Enemy firing phase. Or no, sorry, melee phase. Fingers crossed. We lost both. We lost both the lieutenant and the regulars there. That was absolutely brutal. I expected that to go a lot better. The commissar put him down. We're going to have to get rid of them. Then and only then can we take that building. I think it was way too much of a risk. I should have gone in with those additional regulars. We are not Übermenschen. That's something we have to remember here. It's the enemy move and fire phase. Got me a little concerned. Okay, missed our officer. They are all going on that particular location, as you can see. Another miss on the officer, but they're really targeting him. And there we go. We've got some guys coming across from the main building. Quite a few Soviets coming across from the main building, actually. They might outnumber us. Now, for the firing phase, we've got to take it, guys, with Kuga here. Although he might be pinned sufficiently not to be able to fire. Let's open fire on the Commissar and his buddies. I'm trying to get as close as I can there. Here we go. The difficult thing is, like, getting the indicator first and then doing it. Let's see. Can we do this? Yeah. This is going to work. I love how you can also see the bodies. That's about as close as we can get, but I'll take it. Unfortunately, I think they're just fine. They might be a little stunned, but those guys seem to be untouched, unfazed, one would say. It's going to be the recovery phase next. I wish we could get some shots up here, but it doesn't look like it. Let's go ahead, boom, or escape phase, my apologies, and then it'll be the enemy movement phase. So they could try to charge in here if they so chose, and we don't have any sort of counter fire at the moment. There's the advance phase. Okay, it's the advance phase. I'm just learning the phases little by little, but basically advance allows you to move once and attack. Just one tile and attack. It seems fair to me. Well, no melee to be had. All right, guys, the move and fire phase. This might be one of the few chances we have to actually take a good shot at the enemy. And I want to make sure we've got a lot of guys here. So I'm just going to have everybody come into the area. The officer took a shot, missed. I thought for sure with at least Kuga we could take a shot, but maybe simply by moving, it's not going to let us. There we go. We're just going to have to take some individual shots, or we could select only the regulars. There we go. Not bad. I mean, we pinned them. You know, that's a start. Definitely pinning them under fire. And, you know, we could also move these units in and start challenging the enemy here. I'm going for it. Of course, it's risky. They're going to get some return fire. And, yep, I knew there was a risk, of course, because we are in a very open area there near the factory. But I'm going to take the shot. Managed to pin the officer and the infantry. We might do okay there. Let's go ahead and move the rest of the boys in. Every single one of the units here should just be storming across to take the factory building. And my goodness, the enemy is actually spotting us over there, the ones that are trying to make it into the factory. They are well aware of our presence. Going to crawl into the area. Enemy should return fire, and they actually broke our units. A damn good job there. I'm rushing into the area with this unit to try and get some of that morale back up. Return fire as well. But I did not expect that to be so difficult. It's going to be a perfect fire phase for them. And actually, they decided to forego firing at our units there that are pretty mangled in the factory and just go ahead and shoot at the larger group. So I think tactically, that's the better decision. All right, guys, this is our advance phase. This is our chance, and I am taking it. I'm moving right onto the Commissar. I am risking it. I will not advance here, but I will continue to advance with these units. Our reinforcements. Just go on through the factory grounds. And I'm hoping that just having Richter and other officers around here, like Lieutenant Richter, will actually boost the morale of these broken units. And of course, advancing here would be pretty crazy. 42% chance to win if we go into close combat. The odds are stacked against us, obviously. Let's hope that the melee phase goes in our favor here. Come on, boys. Come on. We need you to actually fight this time. Okay, nice. Killed in action, killed the enemy commissar. Just completely destroyed them there. Beautiful. That's what we're looking for. The factory building is still not ours, though. And while it remains in enemy hands, it's going to be a tough gig. Let's put it that way. Enemy move and fire phase. They could just completely... Yep, that's what I was thinking. They could have actually just gone ahead and charged into that unit, but they were merciful. All right, guys, our firing phase. And those guys are out in the open. So this is a beautiful chance here. Broke one of the units. Not too bad. It's too bad we can't shoot over there, but we can still shoot over here despite the fact that we are way out of range. We can still fire over there and kind of make their lives hell. I'm going to do the same with this unit. Open fire at the commissar and his men. But they absolutely have the advantage in this factory here. That's going to be the escape phase. The cowards will run. Going to have a talk with them later. Especially this early on in the war. I mean, running is not something we would expect or want. So keep that in mind. Enemy is splitting there, and it's actually a good move to sort of separate the men there. Kind of forces us to do a little bit more, but hopefully in the recovery phase, some of these guys will regain their strength, and these guys have. So I'm just going to crawl in there. Be careful. Open fire. Do the same over here. We're just going to open fire at the officer and his men, and beautiful. We actually broke Colonel Kalbukov and his men. They are going to retreat in panic. Good work there by these regulars. And we are going to continue firing. Might as well try to shoot these guys down completely. Unbelievably, we missed. I mean, sometimes even in the best situations, you're going to miss. And I am simply going to continue or start pushing forward over here. Got some return fire there. And they actually managed to pin our boys down, but I am going to ignore that. Move on through with some more regulars. Oh, you bastards. This entire time, I thought we had that situation under control. That is not good. All right. Okay, we're just going to get into this part of the factory. And in fact, from here, we can probably open fire on the enemy. So I'm going to try to get as many guys in here as possible. And just give them a good old volley. Beautiful. Broke two, including one of the officers, Sergeant Baronsky. And again, that's what we really need. We need to be able to break the morale of these men and rush in there and just take the factory by force. I feel like we have a good chance here on this factory. Here we go. Both sides, of course, with quite a few retreating men. You can imagine, you know, being the first time that you've ever been in combat, it makes sense that there would be a good number of retreats. It makes sense that there would be a good number of men that would just completely lose heart and get the hell out of there in such a vicious fight. So we are continuing to advance over here. Might as well keep pushing forward. A lot of those guys are pinned or fleeing, but in general, they're looking okay. It also looks like that enemy is completely going to abandon the factory. I am going to advance closer to this enemy here. And actually, we could get right in there with our men. I'm going for the risk. It is risky as hell, especially since they have already gone through quite a lot, but I am taking that risk in an effort to grab the factory. There we go. Killed one. Our guy held. So we killed one of them. Our guy held. That means the fighting will continue there. But just imagine being only feet away from the enemy. And that was actually quite a common occurrence in places like Stalingrad and in places like Pskov, as an example here. So it could absolutely happen. Enemies got their move and fire phase. Now, they might try to get into the factory or simply hold that building and try and pin our men inside. And I think the latter is probably the best idea because we now have more men in that factory than they do. I don't see them taking it by force. All right, it's our firing phase. Good chance to get some damage. And actually, hitting those broken units just to make sure they won't return is what I'd really like to do. So let's make it happen. There we go. That is a dead officer. He is down for sure. And we actually got some victory points just for killing officers, so that's pretty cool. You guys can do better than that. Come on. I mean, the good news here is just we have so many opportunities to hit them. Although the chance, like the percentage chance, is quite low. Wow, look at that. As they're retreating, guys, as they are retreating, our men were lighting them up. That is pretty awesome. It's going to be the Soviet advance phase. This would be an opportunity for them to get across to the factory, and you can see they are crawling over here. They're trying to crawl over here. Probably their best chance. The melee is continuing over here. We got to keep our eyes there. Come on, and we managed to hold it, guys. Killed the enemy. Unfortunately, they still have those 2 units over there. And it looks like they have rallied. So, again, complicating the situation. New reinforcements have arrived. Okay, that's what I like to hear. We're going to grab these fellas and just a big old push. Sorry, I didn't even take a look at the officer. I do think it's fair. Lieutenant Wolf. Okay. Didn't we have another Lieutenant Wolf that died? Was he just wounded? I'm confused. All right. Anyway, push here. We're just going to, at this point, stay on the flag there. Hopefully that guy will rally as well. With these units, get right into the factory building. Okay, took some return fire. I'll take it. That's okay. It means he can't do any return fire against these units here. So I will absolutely take it and storm that position. Just completely storm that position. So get everybody over here. Little bastard still had some shots. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I did not expect him to still have some shots. Let's just get over here. We're laying down as well. Open fire. And over here, I absolutely want to continue hitting these units. We want to aim for the officers. And we killed every single damn one there. Beautiful. Some more victory points. But again, if we don't take these 2 factories, guys, we will lose. There's no way around it. We might be able to avoid taking that one if we could just keep killing officers. So that's what we have to look forward to as well. At least. Wow, what's wrong with me? Here we go. Opening fire on them. We could do that. You know what? We might as well. I just want to try to pin them. It's only 6%. I mean, the chances of actually having it work are very minuscule. All right. Ooh, good return fire there. Think I'll give you some too. And they did hold. Those Soviets right there are still quite strong, quite brave. The rest seem to be running like headless chickens. Yeah, we could just go for the pin shot. Yeah, why not? Let's go. Let's do it. They could really make us pay here. And just absolutely stupid of me to walk through the factories there. I just figured, you know, like, if they open fire on one big group, right, then we have a chance to attack with another big group and rush in there. But they held on to their rounds. They still had rounds. Now, this is the advance phase. It's not the advance and fire phase. So that's something to keep in mind. So maybe just advance here with these officers. Advance with this fellow. Push him forward as well. Push him across to that building. Just get a little bit closer, you know? And I will also advance over here because I want to just charge into that unit. I'll also advance over here with these guys. And there we go. I mean, you might as well, right? If we've got the opportunity, we might as well take it. Tell you what, though, we're going to make Colonel Kolbukov pay for what he's done if we can actually get over there before the end of this particular scenario. I'd love to take that guy out, take that factory building, but specifically him. He has caused us the most trouble out of any of the Soviets on the map right now. And actually 30-10... No, I think it's impossible. 30, 10, 40. We're still going to be under. The enemy will have 60. I thought this was 40, 20. But that means we're going to have to be really fast, and I'm not sure we have the time to get across. Nonetheless, I'm learning more and more about this game the more I play, and I really am enjoying it. It's going to be the fire phase. Might as well get these guys out of here. They are broken, at least. That's a start. And unfortunately, I thought we were going to get a visual of those guys, but that's okay. Ooh, 6% chance. Enemy held on, incredibly. So at this point, they're being harassed by every single one of the buildings, but incredibly, our guys are not getting the best shots. I was really hoping for something better. I'm blind firing at this unit just to maybe hit them. There we go. Surrender. And an enemy commissar killed in action, but that might just be purely from the surrender. I guess it counts as a KIA, or maybe our guys just shot him afterwards. My goodness. It's frightening to think. All right, guys, recovery phase. Let's hope there's still time to take the factory. And it's the move and fire phase. Well, now or never, huh? We're not going to be able to fire with these guys, but we can at least get into the factory building. With these guys, we can probably move and fire. But we're going to take some return fire. Yep, that's what I was worried about. We do have more men in this factory building now, though. That's one positive, I guess you could say. So let's simply move with these guys. We could actually move with them over here and also return fire. So we'll kind of push up. And Captain Zinchev, as you can see, he's wounded, but he's still alive. Let's see if we can put an end to that. We've got him pinned. Really want to get Captain Zinchev, because, of course, getting those officers counts for a lot more than just the standard infantry. That being said, there are a lot of them there. I guess he's kind of trying to lead by example. Oh, yeah. All right, let's just move into the factory building there with these units. I'm going to return fire. Little bastards tried to actually hit us. Move into the front of the factory building with this group. And, I mean, we've got officers here. Every single one of them is going to be aiming at that guy. And he has been broken, at least, and weakened. But incredibly, Captain Zinchev is still alive. I feel like this guy must have hundreds of rounds in him. All right, we can continue firing. It's very low chance of getting a hit, but, again, when you can take that chance, why not take it? No, that's not going to work. Let's just put him right there. Just keep Captain Becker rallying the men as best he can. And that large group there just decided to fire a bunch of regulars outside of the factory, of course. There we go. Killed him. Captain Zinchev is dead. Trying to escape there. Cost him his life. And, of course, it is the advance phase. A risky advance phase, to say the least. And what I want to do at this point is just get there on the edge of the building and start opening up on these guys. Might as well push over here as well. Send most of our units into that building there. Oh, look at that. Looks like the Soviets just got some reinforcements there. A lot of reinforcements. All right, guys, it's going to be our firing phase, of course, and my goal is to hit those units, but we are not able to hit them. So let's do the next best thing, hit these guys right here. Managed to break some units, did not kill any of their officers, though. That's what I was going for. And broke another unit. I'll take it. The battle is going to come down. Well, I think it actually might end here, unfortunately. If we had one more turn, it would come down to us charging that group into that enemy commissar right there. It's our only chance to be able to get a victory or grab that particular position. No melee to be had. Again, they're not close enough for that. We also have a bunch of units there that rallied. Now, the move and fire phase, guys, I hate doing it, but it's like I know we have to. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to crawl and fire. We got to get in there and take the chance. Here we go. Missed both shots. Unbelievable. Let's move in there with this unit as well. Just get into the factory. Hopefully these guys will also rally and hopefully give us that position. And look at that. The value is now 10. Am I going crazy? Is the value dropping every time? Maybe it is. So maybe the faster you take the location, the faster you can get that value up. That's pretty cool. I can't believe they held, but they are going to be pinned. So I am making it to that building to start shooting at the guys crossing the bridge. Getting that Dhaka. I guess we call it a Dhaka, right? They're pinned. They shouldn't really be able to return fire, so I'm taking a big risk here, but there's actually like a little hill here, a dirt hill, and I'm guessing that it's going to prevent return fire to us. I'm hoping. Big risk, but again, let's see if it pays off. And hey, they're pinned. I'm moving over here. I think we might get a chance to get a shot. Very, very dangerous, but what the hell? Here we go. Oh, they held. They absolutely held. Our guys are going to have to do quite well. They are still broken, but that doesn't make this any easier. Enemy fire phase. Let's see what happens over here in the factory to the northwest. That's my main point of concern. They missed. They were actually aiming directly at the officer there. Let's see if we have one more chance, guys. I might try to just do a good old charge. I told you it would come down to that. Having all the guys in that location is perfect. Anyone crossing that bridge is dead. And here's the advance phase. Guys, wish us the best of luck. I really think this will determine victory or defeat. It might be a defeat either way. All right, let's get into that position at least. We'll get into the brush. I think that's the only decent advance we can do over here. We might as well also start leaving the factory. I know we won't have cover, but they're at a great distance, and I just want to start making our way to that factory, although I'm pretty sure that the turn ends here. Here's the melee phase. You better hold on, boys. You better hold on. We're looking at you, Lieutenant Wolf. Come on. Ambush, kill. Oh, they held on. They actually killed one of our boys. The fight continues, though, right there. But unfortunately, it did not resolve, and I was really hoping it would. The colonel versus the lieutenant there. Yeah, they're just going to retreat back to the main building, which makes sense, you know. I would do the same thing. Try and hold that position. These positions seem to be compromised. Just look at how many Soviets they've got. I just see no way that we could take that final factory building. All right, the fire phase, again, cannot fire here because we are in melee combat, but we might be able to hit these guys trying to escape. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, unfortunately, the range is not going to allow us to do much there. I really want to get to the melee phase. The other dangerous thing about that unit getting into position there is he can continue to fire across the river there. Maybe, you know, making this location impossible to hold. Although, as you can see, we killed them all. Killed the officer, killed the men, and also took the location. But 32 VPs, well, I guess it does beat 30 VPs. Barely. So I like how that victory point value changes. I think that's damn revolutionary. See, we could try to cross this river and take that location, but it would be so dangerous, especially with the enemy in that position. I just can't think. I can't defend doing it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stay put and just fire across the river, hopefully. I mean, we could... Oh, it is so risky. Let me just see how far across we could get. It feels like we could throw away the battle by doing that. But it wouldn't be the first time. Oh boy. Incredibly, we can still somehow shoot this guy. I don't know how. But alright, we'll do that. And we'll just start bounding across. I mean, I guess they can't shoot us all, right? So what we could do is just kind of separate the units here. Kind of do one of these. Just have one go across, one go here. It's, like I said, I think this is so dangerous. But what the hell? We got to try to take the building. So I'm going to send just the regulars. I'm going to leave the sergeant behind. Or maybe we'll leave a regular behind. Get the regulars there. And we'll keep the sergeant kind of over here. Hopefully no snipers. Do the same thing with these units. Just get into the brush. As we are, of course, pushing across the river there. Alright, guys. Keep your heads down. Alright, our men are okay, but they are pinned. Just, you know, they're a little frightened by all that effective fire. And it is effective if they're pinned. Advanced phase, guys. This is where the cookie crumbles. Boom. All right, and we're right near a routed unit, so they're not exactly keen on challenging us. They're just kind of like spooked, like, oh my goodness, please don't kill us. That's good to know. Get those guys there. Again, just trying to make it across a little bit faster. Now, just imagine if they put a demo charge under the bridge, how quickly this battle would be over. All right. No melee. There is no melee. So is that possible? They're just pinned by our very presence? I guess so. Just our presence alone has pinned that unit. Like, I guess just fear has pinned it. Yeah, that makes sense. I like those elements of a Second Front where they try to replicate real combat, right? They try to replicate the reality of the fear and of combat, obviously. It's not an easy thing to do. They did manage to break, incredibly, one of the officers, but what just happened there, I want you guys to pay attention. This is a really cool element of the game, is you can have heroes. So one of the soldiers that held there, despite some of our men breaking and Lieutenant Wolf breaking, he's now become a hero. So he's got quite a bit more value combat-wise. Now over here, still not looking great, but you can see the hero, the little spade icon pop up. I love how you can get that through combat, you know, very reminiscent of like that movie Stalingrad, or the actual battle itself, but just that focus on the squad. You know, I think that's really cool. There we go. That's a kill. Also give us a little VP bonus. I'll take that. I'm really surprised by the effective fire coming across the river, but I mentioned that it could be a problem. It could become a problem, and sure enough, look at that. They are doing good. Good shooting. Got that commissar helping them, of course. All right, we got some rallies there. Good to see. We're just simply going to fire. Now, over here, we could absolutely risk the move and fire. So we're going to push into the factory, guys. The final factory building with Captain Becker. We're going to start sending regulars in there as well. Everybody's going to start swarming it. But we are moving in from the location where hopefully they can't see us if they're all the way deep in the factory there. I'll also send some units over here, of course, behind this train and behind the trees. Just send Lieutenant Orikta and some regulars. And, of course, we can't forget the sergeant. And he actually might be able to open fire on this unit. I think that will be pretty safe. Just get that Luger out and start firing. And once again, we didn't even need to do that. Just the pure terror of our advance has sent them reeling. Now, if they've got good visuals inside that factory building, we're going to be in trouble. Because, of course, they could shoot out and knock down a whole bunch of Germans advancing in that area. But I don't believe they do. All right, guys, advance phase. At this point, we're just trying to get in the building. That's the important thing. I don't really see the point of advancing over here, but maybe we can start moving these units this way and getting into that building. It might be a better position of fire. And actually, why do we even need to be in their range of fire? You know what I mean? Unless they start advancing on this factory, let's just try to ignore them and try to get into a position where they can't even spot us. There's that recovery phase, a lot of rallies, so it does help to have an officer on those units that are sort of breaking. It definitely helps to have an officer. We must take Pskov Mena. So with that 20, I mean, it's certainly a victory if everything continues to go according to plan. Oh boy. They missed. But look at that. Yeah, they're moving that large group in, trying to stop us. That's rough. That is rough. Firing phase. Unfortunately, like, you know, once again, in the factory, very hard to see. We can, however, fire with Becker's group. Good to see we've actually pinned some of the enemy. But out here, as you can see, we're not going to be able to see that group. However, nope, we can't see that group either. Interesting. We continue to spot them over here. Lieutenant Teplyashin. And I think why not? Let's keep shooting here with our hero. He's eventually going to get another excellent shot. And it looks like we did manage to pin one of the men, or one of the groups. Not a bad start. I like that now we have no real men retreating. I guess we have one that's still retreating, but for the most part, they see that the battle is won here. There's no point in looking bad in front of the officers and running off in terror. You know, just stay put. Let's go in for the win. Oh, I don't like that. So you see where the enemies place themselves. They would have a perfect lateral shot here. Moving fire phase. Here we go, guys. And I'm just going to walk in there. The reason being, if we go prone, I've noticed... beautiful, we broke them. I've noticed when we go prone, we don't get as good of a shot. Like, I guess they can't see us, but we can't see them sort of situation. So let's just move in here. All right, still not spotting them. That's okay. We've got them surrounded at this point. I just like to get some officers in there, so let's try to get Major Schmidt. Herr Major Schmidt and Sergeant Koga. I want them just to go here, just to give, like, some support to the men. It's great to see, though, all of our men getting into that factory, though. It feels like ours, but it's not ours until, you know, every single one of those enemies is out of the building, of course. So there we go. Just looking to make sure we can't get any shots, but unfortunately not. Still a little surprised we can't spot that unit from this Dacha. I'm going to go ahead and take this group. I want to keep them under consistent fire. Only 1% chance of a hit, and you bet I am taking the shot. I've gotten some 2 or 3% chance of a hits go through, so I trust in the numbers, even if they're not in my favor. How's that? All right, it's going to be the enemy firing phase, guys. And a large group right there. We don't even know who's there. The fog of war is sort of hiding it. But I'm sure they've got an officer. They have to with that large group of men. And I'd like to try and take them down. Wish the enemy would just accept that the battle is lost at this point. Get out of here. All right, our advance phase. And I'm just going to use the advance phase here to surround the enemy. It's really that simple. All right. There's no melee to be had. I just love how this battle develops, though. And again, if you've ever played any of these, I guess it's not really a miniatures game. It's more a tile-based game. If you ever played the actual game itself, or Flames of War, or any of those games, there's just an element of, like, no battle is ever the same. You know, each battle is going to be surprisingly different. And this is no exception. I've played this battle before a few times, and never turned out the same way. You know, even making it across to this factory building, is not, you know, I thought it was going to be really easy. It's definitely not. And this is our chance here, guys. Just going to open fire on that group. Yeah, the men are definitely nervous. They're opening fire, but they are missing a lot of shots. All right, managed to pin some of them. Not bad. Not a bad start. Going to be enemy movement phase. If they move that unit anywhere, we're going to get return fire on them. But yeah, 2 units routing's no fun, especially with one of them being an officer. Like, how embarrassing, man, for the officer to be retreating at the start of the war here. He's not going to like what's coming next. Let's put it that way. Things are not going to get better, but there we go. And it's still a defeat. That's unfortunate. I think we really do need to take that entire factory building. I guess numbers-wise, though, they had 40. It only counts as 33. I got you. I thought we'd get those additional points from the officers down, but I guess it doesn't work that way. And also, given the time, it could be that over time, just like their victory points lost value, maybe ours do too. I have no doubt, though, if we did the just a few more turns, you know, here, we'd be able to beat or win this battle, but it's not a legit win, of course. Nonetheless, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I'm loving Second Front so far. Can't wait to play more, and I've got some really, really high hopes for the game here. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing and you want to see more, be sure to hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and we will come back to you. As you know, I'm never going to just show you my wins. I like to show you guys wins, losses, anything and everything in between. So hopefully next time we'll get a nice win there. There we go. Managed to kill a bunch of them. That would already boost our VP significantly. Unfortunately, not enough to bring in the victory. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. I'll catch you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.